funner doing these things when the Raiders actually win. You actually feel motivated. You want to talk about the game. You just want to discuss, all the great things going on with your team. But when you're losing games, 30-17 at home, I mean, even without your star quarterback, that's still kind of inexcusable because the Ravens aren't that good of a team. I don't know. It makes you just want to, I don't know, just do anything except make videos about the Raiders season. Alright, so after looking like a legit Super Bowl caliber team in the first two games of the season, the Raiders are now riding a 3-game losing streak. Latest over the weekend, dropping 30-17 against the Ravens. Obviously, Derek Carr was not involved in this game, so he had E.J. Manuel going out there. He went 13 for 26 for 159 yards, one touchdown strike, and that was the big one to Michael Crabtree, probably the only major highlight of the game, the only thing he'll be too proud of. Overall, the run game looked a little bit better than it did last week, but still, Marshawn Lynch, even with the one touchdown, still kind of underproducing, only 43 yards on 12 carries. Overall, 108 yards, slightly better than average performance, but still not enough. Especially when you got the Ravens going for 143 and 2 touchdowns with their run game. I mean, right up the middle, the Raiders couldn't stop Javarius Allen. That was just bad. You look at this team, traditionally for the last couple of years, they've been bad with the secondary. And with David Emerson and Gary and Conley, not playing, you kind of figure, that'd be exploited. But no, for whatever reason, it's stopping the run has been the big problem with the Raiders so far this season. And it doesn't really look to improve. And considering you've got, Kareem Hunt on the schedule, man, that's horrifying to see what can happen there. But Joe Flacco, 222 yards, 19 for 26 on completions, but no touchdown, so thank goodness for that. I already talked about the rushing statistics. One Ravens receiver, Mike Wallace, had 133 yards on just 3 receptions. So yeah, the Raiders, they're still getting beat on the long ball. That was a 54-yard pass, I think on like the opening play of the game, wasn't it, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the Raiders are still getting beat, but at least we're not converting them into 6 points on the board. So for that, be thankful. A lot of things to talk about from the game. Still not really going on with Amari Cooper. He was targeted only twice the entire game. Had 1 reception for 8 yards. Michael Crabtree had that big touchdown reception. Seth Roberts, 2 pickups for 34 yards. Jared Cook had that costly fumble, which made it a 30-17 game. Otherwise, it would have been 24-17, one possession game. Raiders could have tied it up. Could have been, a come from behind victory, but a loss. Those things that happen in the second quarter come back to haunt you. So, overall, defensively and offensively, the Raiders, just not a whole lot to talk about here. They played very, very poorly. I mean, it's the kind of game where afterwards you can kind of almost understand why fans want to fight down old Penn in the parking lot. I mean, just after, the great season you had last year and all the emotional investment, feel like you're finally over the hill and looking so good in those first 2 games and then coming out and just crapping the bed 3 weeks in a row. Yeah, we're all upset about that. Looking very, very quickly at defensive numbers, Carl Joseph, 9, let's see what he had here, 6 solo tackles, not bad. Khalil Mack, no sacks in the game, but he gets 6 solo tackles. TJ Carey with a tackle for loss. Who else did well? James Cowser with 2 solo tackles. Looks like he got a tackle for a loss too. Mario Edwards Jr. I mean, the defense, there's certain players that are looking very, very good on this defensive side of things. Mario Edwards Jr. looking great. Carl Joseph looking great. James Cowser, maybe the breakout player on the defense this year. Khalil Mack putting the pressure down. Not his best game, but still. So all in all, I don't know. It was a pretty mediocre defensive performance, but the offense played worse, so I'm not going to chide the D that much. Alright, well, that is officially the wrap-up there. It's 30-17. Raiders down 2-3. Up next, they're taking on the Chargers. Let me double-check. I'm certain they're playing the Chargers. Yes, playing the Chargers. That is a homestand Sunday at 4:30. I don't know, the Chargers have been pretty bad. 1-4, but they've been keeping it close. They're pretty good running the ball, and the Raiders are pretty bad against stopping the run of the ball. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, getting back to 500 is an imperative. Good news is we do get Derek Carr back. Hopefully we won't see E.J. Manuel on the field ever again because that guy just is not there. And we want to see Derek Carr, really come back into his own. See him going out there getting 3 touchdowns a game, registering like 300 yards, because we need that. We want to win games. We got to have the aerial show going. And Amari Cooper needs to catch some passes. That's got to happen, and we'll see what happens. But just for now, Raiders 2-3, another pretty bad loss. Not a gargantuan blowout because it was competitive, like all the way up to like the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. But you got to hang in there. It's a 4-quarter game. You got to play all 4 quarters. And this team so far, especially over the last 3 games this season, aren't playing like it.